survive because of my pride. And this loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. My woman left and she didn't say why. Well, I guess I have to cry. Many rivers to cross, but just where to begin? I'm playing for time. There'll be times I find myself thinking of committing some dreadful crime. Yes, I got many rivers to cross, but I can't seem to find my way over. Wondering I am lost. Yes, I travel along the wide coast of Dover. Yes, I got many rivers to cross, and I merely survive because of my will.
Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Represent where you're born. Too enough hurricane and storm. From the crime rate drop, me no matter about tax man, still a hustler than a guan. Jamaican have the link to the link, we connect Canadian, American, England. Make sure say when you're there foreign and a hustle, mama visit Western Union. Don't make we build up with foundation. All the hard man, them fear of ambition. Don't flash out all the money back, SSP, NC, guns and ammunition. Real Jamaican, don't show me you want. No matter which part of the world where you stand. Me no matter what them want say about Jamaica, me sing it out loud, cause me proud to be one. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Big up the youth we are wipe car glass. Youth we are trying always to come last. Don't give up, don't give up. Jimmy Cliff tell them many rivers to cross. Help out your sister if she get lost. Don't turn your face to the grass and pass. Show love to the elders. Respect you, can them pave the way in the past. Some man want like say them better than people. Through them a drive a one vehicle. Vanity make them move evil. It easier for a camel pass through the eye of the eagle than the rich figure sit down in a heaven and bitch. That now penny on me ever hungry again. Me a walk and look for every lucky tree me a serve. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Peace. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica, Jamaica love. We wanna see Jamaica love. The one that represent the citizens of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Me love Jamaica, me not sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. Me day in a me yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Selfish and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica, Jamaica love. We wanna see Jamaica love.
Good night, my Facebook family and friends. Jamaica love. Many rivers to cross. Yes, my faithful fan friend, come to another episode of my perspective. I'm your host, Sean Falcon, and once again I'm back. Over the way for a couple of weeks. I know it goes already, but But tonight is not all about my perspective tonight. It's about my home country, Jamaica, who has just passed through a hurricane called Melissa. They want the bad girl Melissa, bad girl Melissa, whatever they want to call her. But, I just have to talk about the hurricane, what happened. I was there, and where I was safe. I went to a high school reunion back in Jamaica, and I got caught up in the hurricane. But my emphasis tonight is on Jamaica and the recovery. And my first plea to all my Facebook family, make sure you're making your contribution, giving back to help those people. In St. Elizabeth, St. James, Trelawney, Westmoreland in particular, and other surrounding parishes like Manchester, where they will get minor touches. Clarendon, not much, but they get. But the worst affected areas, especially Westmoreland, was wiped out completely. And all the pictures and all the graphics, and you can see that this storm 180 miles per hour packing wiped out the southwestern end of Jamaica. Where I was located in Kingston metropolitan area, but that didn't get that. They just rain and wind, look a wind. But people in those areas, southwestern end of Jamaica, got the full blunt and the full force of Melissa. And so my heart goes out, all I was there, my heart still goes out for those people who don't have lost everything. A lot of lives have lost, so 32 lives has lost so far and still counting. But there might be bodies that are not being found as yet, are still in some rubbles, are hard to go to, because those some of those communities are marooned. That means that they have blockages, they're in isolation, a lot of trees, you can't get to them. But in all of this, I must say thanks to all the international communities, local, foreign, and abroad, who have come to the aid of our country. There are a lot of aids coming down, a lot of people supporting helicopters from USA, America, the EU, are bringing a lot of supplies to help Jamaica recover. And so, Jamaica are in good hands. The international community has responded well. And still, people are still pouring out their love, whether through supplies or cash donations. And that is good to see. That the world is reaching out to us from all over the world. See, where the Miami Heat gave $1 million, Shaggy, a lot of entertainers, sports Asaf and Shelly, and all persons are giving back, making sure carrying supplies, packing up their vehicles. I see where, Ball at Academy giving back, JFF is giving back. Friend Dennis Chung is organizing, carrying down food stuff. A lot of people just packing up their vehicles with water, food, some other supplies like tarpaulin, whatever. And so it is all hands on deck. Even opposition is doing their part. Although there are some attempts to politicize some situation, which, my thing is that people will be impatient. But the response has been rapid, and it's going to take time, and the people them will have to understand it's going to take some time for them to reach them. I see where the military has been putting out effort. The soldiers are on the ground. They have set up 22 locations all over in those areas have been affected. I see where the government was thinking small, give thanks to Nigel Clark. That's Nigel Clark who created a bond, a catastrophe bond, which they're not joined down on it, which is should we get like maybe 35 million, or 150 million US. Based on the estimate from the Prime Minister, it says it's $1 trillion of damages, but there will be some shortfall based on what it is going on in terms of the money that is projected in losses. And so there are a lot of people who are displaced, dislocated. And so the government of Jamaica has and the people have to stand together. I see where people have been in this crisis have been coming together to make sure that people get the support. The elderly is taken care of. I see where the Minister of Health is putting up different hospital locations, tents are up and working. So the response has been massive, and the rebuilding will take some time. I know for sure Black River will go through a reconstruction. That town has been wiped out completely. Based on the preliminary reports from the Prime Minister, he said that 418,000 houses have been affected in some way or some sort. 116,000 of those homes are totally wiped out. So he has requested service of Mr. Montague and other agencies to look at ways of moving those people from shelter to some homes and looking at putting some new houses. And the thing of houses, my thing is that it's time Jamaica should be looking at proper way of building coded and barring, or I should say, barring and putting tough regulations and laws and rules on where to build and how to build and what type of house should be built. These both with the climate change right now, and we expecting more storms coming in the coming years to be affected Jamaica. Board houses should be obsolete, should not be allowed to build. And if people are having issues, they should find a good solution, a suitable solution for people to live in decent houses and properly located the gully side, the gully bank thing, those houses need to mash down. Those people need to be relocated somewhere where they can have somewhere of stability to put their rest. Maybe they build container houses and put them on lands that are available. Release the land from people and build out. I mean, in here we have a place. There's some place where you drive your caravan or what SVU, what they call those vehicles, and you have those parks where people live in, right? So that maybe they have got set up those parks with containers, with homes, those who built out containers, drop them in a location. So you have communities there where their land is safe and solid, running water, sewage, and all that, proper lighting and telecommunication service in those um, areas of land. So it'll be a massive area. It's not going to be like it's not a tenement yard thing. It'll be a massive area contained with homes for families who can't afford home. Put them through that type of system. The more gully bank and board houses should not be part of the building code. Some people have that mentality that they board house, but it's quite clear. Climate change is here. And there are many more storms coming to Jamaica, whether in mild storm, major storm, whatever storm. And so infrastructure development will be important in terms of how they build houses and what way they put houses. Politicians nowadays need to move away from think of build house on this or build house. No. Houses must be built on solid foundations, solid where they'll be able to survive any storm. Although still come that some people, if the house were has concrete structure, it means the damage will all be roofs. But with board houses and all that, people's lives are in danger. That's just a reality. Board houses is no more a viable solution for people living in Jamaica. That's just a fact. Climate change is real. Yeah, climate change is real. And so in order to protect our people from the vulnerabilities of any major storm, board houses must be abandoned. Yes, board houses must be put in law that no one allowed to live in certain areas. No gully bank no more. No side of gully. No side of river bank. The laws have to dictate. The laws of the Jamaica land will have to dictate where people live and how people should live and how people should get assistance. Because social welfare plans have to change. Jamaica needs to add more social welfare plans for the vulnerable of the society, for the elderly. And let's talk about some elderly were living alone in their homes. No elderly should be at their home. I know there's stubbornness of some elderly don't want to leave their home for various reasons. But when storm of this magnitude hits Jamaica, elderly should be placed in shelters, a safe haven place like a shelter somewhere to deal with it. Not to be left in the storm to fend for themselves. And I get it. Some elderly had some bad history, some bad life in terms of how they treat people. So people don't want around them. But it is the responsibility of the government to take care of the elderly, the shut in and all that, to make sure they are okay. So therefore, the social welfare systems need to spread across the board to make sure who are able to take care of them, the state finds some way to take care of them. Because this hurricane has shown that no matter what wealth you have, when a storm comes to, the most important thing is life. Life is precious. Material things will go and you can rebuild them back. But life is more precious than material things. And I hope that people really realize that, yeah, you can have a big house. Nothing wrong with a big house and a big car and all that. But life is more important. And living and giving and lending and giving a helping hand, lending, helping someone else along the road. Because it's quite clear that this storm, Melissa, this girl Melissa, was a destruction coming true. And we know that there might be more other coming through next year or early next year. We don't know whenever the hurricane season starts again. but give God thanks that Jamaica will, yes, I get it, Jamaica will survive and rebuild and come back stronger. The belief is there, the people are there, the international community is with Jamaica. And so, with every hands on deck, I believe that Jamaica will be back. I won't that this year. I'm not even worried about the economic impact because that's part of storm. It's going to have it GDP going to affect it, exports will be affected, import costs going to increase. Farmers are being affected. But the most important thing, life is not being affected as much. And so we live on our day to see that the country will be rebuilt, but we just have to be patient and give it time to go through the process of rebuilding. The money is there to rebuild. How far it will take, I don't know. How far we go, I don't know. But the most important thing that Brogard, opposition, and private sector, public sector, churches, and everyone who participate in this, where the money comes, it must be managed properly. There must be some level of accountability. There must be some level of checks and balances. Because once again, in situations like these, there are persons, I call them scammers, are persons who will look to exploit, who will look to gain more from it than really help people. The help shall come from above, as they say, but people on the ground must have to take care of themselves. But once again, government has to make sure, and hopefully make sure that money is not wasted, that money is not stolen for the people who really need it to rebuild back their lives and their homes and their properties. The government will have to make sure that every cent, every money that comes in, supplies that comes in, are distributed equally among the needy, not on political party or partisan basis, or any form of political victimization take place because some part might never vote for him. It is one Jamaica. Jamaicans alone who have been the ones who are suffering need help most. Make sure they have food. Make sure they get back their light and water. They take them cell phone service. And I must commend Mr. Darrell Fall, who has been on the ball running, putting demands on the utility company to make sure they get back enough light, water, and running. I see the Minister of Water, someone that is cranking up his machine. I see where they give the ministers of each kind of 1 million at 1 point, whatever, to purchase water for the constituency if there's no water. So the government has been putting in place. The government has been pushing things together. I see where the opposition is trying to do their part by putting up some a website to raise funds for needy, to help those constituencies. That's good. That's where we need all hands on deck. But once again, I don't want this hurricane or this storm to become a political football field, because there are tendencies to cry foul from one side to the next side. There are tendencies to say the government is not doing this and not doing that amount. But people will have to understand there's a level of patience. Some people will get more urgent attention than some. That's just a fact in any hurricane or disaster. Some people just have to hang on and wait. But I know that help will reach them eventually. The most important to get them find food, shelter, and clothing to keep them until they build back, till their properties come back or they can find some way to live. That's just how it is in disaster. I've been there. I didn't get help. Yeah, I was in Gilbert, Whiteport, Kingston, a rooftop lift. The days I had to use when they had to get the food. My dad, I couldn't get food for a couple of days. And I was like for 3-4 months. Couldn't hear from my mom for a couple of months. Well, never had no phone service. That's just what reality of Gilbert in 1988. The country was devastated. So now that international aid that came and given us some good strength, let us make sure that all people who are in the disaster point get the help that they deserve, get what they need to continue survival until they are back on their feet. And so, well, I know that with Jamaica, with the progression, I know that the fund, everybody I know, we get what they need, that we get what they want. So we get what they need to survive until they're back on their feet. As the Prime Minister said that 40% of the island has been affected, then 60% will have to start ramp up more productivity, to increase productivity so there's more money coming through the system to help these people, the vulnerable. Which makes total sense. But at the same time, our Jamaican people at times are very lackadaisical laid back. Find all manner of excuse not to produce more. But I hope that they will all rally to the cause now and get productivity up and put all efforts in rebuilding back those towns, especially Black River, and helping those communities that were dislodged through this hurricane. And my thing is this: so before I forget, please make sure you link on the government website. Find a way you can give your donation. There's another website the government has been given information about. Please make your own donation once again. I plead. I'm making my own donation, but please, other people tell their friends and family, please just give $1. Give what they can give. Because Jamaica going to need every dollar right now to rebuild back this country. Especially people also Western. Please, spread the word. Let's just show love back to our country. Because our people deserve better. And no matter what storms or hurricanes come, whatever, they deserve the help that they need. They deserve the help right now. And I'm praying to God that, yes, the 32 lives have lost so far, but let us wait. See, I hope that they don't find much more. But yeah, some people have been buried already, so they might have to resume the body and check them, make sure that what is our cause of death and all. Because they have to, government now has to approach it in the light that they have to make sure they account for every single Jamaican, living, and dead. Make sure that all the properties that have been damaged get the necessary grants or help to rebuild, give them loans or grants to help them rebuild back the roofs or whatever. Because that's where we need to make sure people are back on their feet. They can have something to go home to. I want to give a special shout out to all those humanitarian people who are the homes who were affected, but they are putting people in their rooms to sleep, to live. They make spaces for them. They come and live with them until they get back their homes. And that's good. That's how we roll, and that's how Jamaicans should live. Being helpful, stretching a hand to one another. There's so many stories that have been heard. There's so many stories, where people who are giving humanitarian assistance out of just love and understanding the gravity of this hurricane, the psychological scars this hurricane will leave to many elderly, middle age, young people, especially babies, who used to have a home, but now they're walking in open space with all their things, toys being displaced all over the place. It's a lot to really talk about when you see, the kids them and see the homes that were once homes are just shells standing in the shadow of trees that were once trees but no more trees. It's just branches spurring in the air. It's like a ghost town, like a Perspecive or whatever they call it, or a tornado come to and wipe out everything. So my brother and sister, please continue praying and hope that these people will continue to get the necessary help and aid and all that. And my concern is just that the people with the elderly who have what you call it, illness, they need to make sure they get the medication, make sure they get necessary medications and all that to help them through this crisis. The government have a lot on their hands, to be honest. The government and but I see where the team is pulling together. The schools are closed, but I must say that um, um, good night, Errol. I get back to your comment. The the schools are closed, and I hope that I think where the Minister of Education must be willing to hold back schools, but they're doing when they're phase basis. I see where Damon Crawford and the Minister of Education agree in principle that schools that are not really affected should get it back to school. School then make sure there's proper transportation meals and also the students get that counseling. The area that affected the schools get that counseling and make sure that that the schools get the requisites what is called repairs done immediately, so schools get normalcy can school. No normalcy can return to school for in attendance for students. But hopefully, in the meantime, I hope that majority of schools are doing online. Although I figure some schools will be dislodged because there's no internet and all that. So those are challenges I know the parents will face to get back their kids back to school, and school being repaired in a quickly manner to get back the kids into school. While parents have to find a way to make sure that they can find the money to send them to school. Or the government might have find some systems in terms of providing, I think government have provide meals. Also maybe find some clothing for students, transportation for them, free transportation back at school until the parents can find their way back into normal, simply in their jobs and all that. It's a lot of things. Good night, Errol. How are you, brother? Hope everything is good with you. You said the government needs to include opposition in the plan of execution of the region. No. The government cannot include the opposition. They only can tell them of their plans and what they're doing. And the opposition can partake in the execution of what the government is doing. Because once again, the government has that responsibility to carry people through crisis. The opposition is the opposition. They can advise and make recommendations, but to be a part of the plan execution, no, they cannot be. That's like you are saying the government is incompetent there. So the idea of the opposition being a part of the plan, good night, sir, good night to you and First Lady, sir. The opposition part of the plan execution is not plausible or feasible. But once again, the government of the day must lead and must be able to put in the program, plan, execution, and what opposition is there to oversee and make sure and give their input into what can be done. And it's up to the leader or the government after the moment to accept or reject their proposals. The opposition can't be execution. I hear people saying that era a lot. The opposition should be no, they can't be. That's not the protocol. It's like you're already saying right now in the USA that the shutdown is basically that Trump after that anything happening to the country that the program should advise the Democrats should be a part of the plan. No, that's not how it goes. Government in power, they have to make sure they execute. Government opposition, who have lead opposition, is all about leading. It's not narrow thinking. It's not narrow thinking, it's what is the right way of doing things in protocol. You should know protocol is always what lead. It's protocol is what leads anybody. The opposition is opposition. If they were in government and JP don't want to be a part of execution, no, they cannot be. Government is there to lead. Opposition is there to partake and make their suggestion and see how best they can make their recommendation. That's how it goes. It's not narrow thinking. It's just a protocol. I've never seen where two government we have a government and opposition um, joint force. That never work. It's like like Aaron, you're saying, it's like you're saying that you are manager for one, you have two managers for one at least. So you are managing, and then you want another man learning two and a co-manager that lead. That doesn't work. I've tried that already. One person have to lead, one person follow, one person writes, one person lead. It's just a normal thing in society. There's clear strategy. I'm not sure there's no clear strategy at all. I'm not sure you're following the news. I'm not sure what strategy you're talking about. Maybe have clarified to make sure that we understand what strategy. Because there's a lot of moving parts. We're talking about getting first in what needs to be done in terms of how you reach people that are marooned. You have no clear the road. You have the utilities to deal with. You have food supplies to get to people them. You have to take care. You have to get tents up, get your hospitals up. There's a lot of moving parts era. So I'm not sure if strategy is the right word. I'm more like in managing. Yeah, sorry. It's more like managing the recovery mode and making sure that the people that are affected getting the necessary help. Because there cannot be no strategy. Strategy is it's just a word. Right now it's managing. That's why you have different ministries. Of the map of OPM and all those management crisis to deal with that. And how best to get things to the people in these crises. I know you discuss the coach, but the coach and the coach. You can't discuss strategy, but at the end of the day, the coach will decide the best strategy because he's the one, the expertise. You are the manager. You are making sure you're getting money. You are making sure you're getting sponsorship and all that. The coach is the one that needs to. He will listen to your suggestion, but he's the one who will define execution. So the coach is the one that makes a prepared athlete. If you want to be the coach and manager, that's fine. You can do both. But if you have a coach in place, let him do the work. Because once again, the coach will be judged on the athlete's performance. When a gold medal, that means that the coach not doing something right. It will be a gold medal potential, and he's a bronze medal contender, then something is wrong. Listen, people will be dying, Errol, in this situation in terms of the life. We can, that's a part of natural disaster. All thing you can do is minimize the collateral damage in terms of death, because that's what happens in natural disaster. Because you and I know the government give them a lot of warnings for a lot of people to go to shelter. Some people don't want to left them home because of this. They don't want to leave them animals. They don't want to leave them house because they feel maybe vandalized, which have genuine reasons. Or them feel that, them just want to ride, them feel them can ride out the hurricane. And so loss of life was inevitable. We cannot deny that. But people, I don't think people are dying. It's just that people who are dying, main ones that have health issues or what. But and all of this era, the fact of the matter that people just have to wait until the help comes. It's hard. And I see where the NWA has confirmed that they have created single lanes in most of the communities that have been affected. So friends and family can maybe drive them, but I said the government asking for people to try to avoid it, because what they're trying to get, they use helicopters to drop supplies, they're using drones to assist, they're trying to use vehicles that can go down there to can reach up to people, get there. So there are a lot of food supplies there. You just have to make sure, as I said, that it don't become corrupted in terms of political victimization. Some people I get from now get, and then the back and forth between politicians, it boils over into massive brawl or quarrel of corruption taking place and all that. And I talk about corruption. There was one MP in Westmoreland. There was this lady. She said she went ahead, Errol, and used her private contractors, and that is not good. The government has its processes and protocols on how you can't use private contractors. Then again, if every MP who are affected should go get private contractors to do the job, then they're going to be saying that this is politically biased, there's corruption involved. The government, that's why you say narrow thinking, but the government after they have to lead from the front. They have to have everything put in place, the mechanism to deliver services, supplies to all the people. And that's what I'm saying, you know. Um, and that is what, and that's just that's just a fact. Uh, no, it's not. I'm saying there are collateral damages, Dexter. I'm not saying that there will be collateral damages due to the hurricane. Deaths and loss of lives will be a part of massive hurricane. And I said that some people who maybe collateral damage not the right word, but loss of lives will be because of the hurricane. Loss of lives will be the issue in terms of hurricanes. So let me rephrase it. Not collateral damage. People are not like you lives loss of lives are collateral damage, but there will be loss of lives due to this hurricane. For various reasons, people are stubborn, as I said earlier. They don't want to leave their homes, they don't want to move out. Various reasons. So, the hurricane came and swept through. I know that some people that I said earlier that in Westmoreland, Dr. Dayton Campbell said that some people were buried already. And so, the government have to resume the bodies to get their names, confirm the deaths, what cause of death, and all that. So there's a lot of things going on. I don't know, everybody. You say I'm inhumane like it's, but I'm not inhumane. What is saying inhumane? Listen, the fact of the matter is that natural disasters bring death, whether we believe it or not. It is just part of it might sound weird, but that's part of the thing. That something we want to see death, but because of people nature, Errol and Dexter, that they don't take the necessary precaution. I could have said, all the people in Jamaica, when did they got so much warning about the hurricane and they were said to leave to go to higher ground. Some people don't want to go to higher ground. But while we know that in any catastrophe, there's always some form of death, life has lost, which we don't want, but it's just the nature of catastrophes around the world. Earthquake, hurricane, cyclone, whatever, tornadoes where they hit. There's always some people who just believe that they can go through or just being stubborn. And so comes about the loss of life. Another war zone. I'm not sure it's bad plan. I'm not sure, but Era, how can you plan for a hurricane? Really, you only can put mechanism in place, trigger mechanisms to put in place. You can only warn people, which they were doing. If you say bad planning, you can't say bad planning because you were bad planning right now. Maybe we can't say the people, some people want to get they are receiving the food right now or whatever. Because I was there in 1988 and that was bad planning. Jamaica are ready for hurricane. 1988 Gilbert. And you were there to Dexter, you know that. You understand me? So, Dexter, in you may remember, Dexter, war zone, it doesn't have to be a war zone for it being inhumane. You have to look at it from that perspective too. It's a hurricane, a catastrophe. You understand? A catastrophe. Yes, I agree. Some shelters were not adequately resourced. Because some shelters were supposed to have food and proper bedding, and some were not. I think that's where some of the shelters fell down because once again, some of the shelters didn't have enough food. And you can't tell them people go to shelters and they don't have enough food. That doesn't make sense. Some of the shelters, they had roof leak too, as per them. So, once again, Errol and Dexter, there are a lot of things that could have done better. But it boils down to, what can I say, central coordination. You need a central coordination for shelter, you need a central coordination for utilities, you need a central coordination for food and supplies. In that area, that means you have the body, you have there where everybody in that area deal with that. So yes, the government may have looked on the office of after the disaster preparedness, OPM or ODPM need to be looked at differently. Because I see where he has removed out the director of that and put him somewhere and bring in the army officer, replace the army officer who is going to take over the responsibility. So I know that Jamaica lack a lot of expertise in disaster preparedness and management. It's quite clear. And you know, when I say sometimes Jamaica lack a lot of leadership in certain things, people laugh at me and say respect Jamaican, but it's quite obvious. Maybe they at Errol said there could have been more preparation in terms of how they handle the immediate effect after, because they know there are certain things that will be lost: light, water, telephone services, and food and shelter. Those are 5 things I mentioned. 5 major things I know that would have affect anybody after hurricane. 5. Loss of lives is just part of what happened during in a catastrophe, you know. Well, that's what it is. You know, people, if Errol, this is what Jamaica has happened. If the officer, OPM officer have so much responsibility, but do they have enough resources? Do they have enough people? Of the problem, yeah, but the problem is I put on it because once again, it is quite clear that there's some level of lack of incompetency amongst the people, and that's why I put those moved under his portfolio, because it's like he wants to be, in a sense, it's like he's micromanaging those operations, because he understands that he doesn't want anything political or any form of corruption coming from those departments, and you know those departments are very vital to the recovery of Jamaica. Yeah, but you see, Errol is not an indictment or indictment on the government. It's what the Prime Minister has to do best for protect his image, protect the corruption perception out there. It's very bad that he has to do the micromanagement when you put certain offices. He appoint some new ministers. He put Dr. Weekland underneath him. He put Montague underneath his office. Because he doesn't have the trust to say, yo, go back out there, do the right thing, make sure your ministries are run properly. And the same thing now with the Office of Disaster Preparedness. He had moved it under his portfolio. So it goes to show that yes, there's a lack of trust and lack of in terms of saying that yes, these people can manage the situation. And it's not good, but what is happening is that because of past experience with some of the ministers that he has, it has shown that they have exposed themselves to scandal. I don't want to go through that no more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but you see, they're going to have a bottleneck because once again, the bureaucracy in Jamaica, the red tape and all that is a problem. The red tape is a problem. And so, we're going to have to try to manage all the ministers where it's critical, because he knows that with distribution supplies and these money coming in, he's just afraid, quite frankly, in his mind, that somehow some mismanagement will take place and opposition are going to try run with against corruption, because he has went through so much in the last election with people beating him down and in terms of him person saying corrupted and Lucifer, all kind of a thief. So he have to try to protect his government, where he is the leader from corruption and scandal. And so it's very unfortunate, but if he has the ministers that have that level of trust, then I believe that there's no issue, but there's some level of lack of trust for certain ministers, and that's just the reality behind it. Yeah, but you see, right now about confidence, you just have the workability to make sure. And you know, I spoke about this already. That Jamaica lack quality leadership all around. Yeah, from the PMB to JLP, lack quality leadership. Because once they get in power and have the authority, they don't do the proper checks and balances. They don't know how to manage people. It's like everything get and allow certain things to go. They don't want, you know, like you have to be on top of people. And Jamaicans have this tendency where they see the way they can exploit things, they will go ahead and exploit every man for themselves. Yeah, you're gonna have a game on the internal IC. Listen, the man thinks sign that error. That done pass already. If not enough against the man, there's no corruption, boss. So you can keep saying you're on the PMP, yeah, your friend can't say no time for hurricane relief, build back Jamaica. Because it's quite clear that the GDP will be affected. A lot of people will be lost. Last year, some of the hotels them right now are closing because they might have so people out of job. That's why the unemployment insurance need to be in place. Because when those people get laid off, what are they going to do in the hotel industry? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Because a couple of them plan to close because they've been affected by Hurricane Melissa. What are those people who are going to lay off? What they going to do? That's why we need unemployment insurance to be up and running so people can allow to get some money in their pocket while the country recover from this hurricane. They have bills to pay. They may have farm to feed. And these are the real issues now that facing Jamaica. You understand me? Yeah, but you know, listen, you and I know that there are professionals out there who say they're professionals and them still make mistakes. There are people who have their masters and say them the masters, but they're not innocent. There are people who say they're doctors and they read doctors. You have doctors and they call doctors. You have coaches and they call coaches. That's just a reality out there, right? You know, some competence level, and everybody has the same competence level. You and I know that. There are coaches and there are coaches in track and field. You know that too. So sometimes you as a manager have to make sure you have a manager at least, make sure coaches who you have out there are doing the right thing to make sure that they give the best. But you know that era. So let's not beat around the bush. We have people who are just incompetent. They have all the doctorate and everything, but they just cannot do the work properly. And that's just a fact. So, and that's why bro God who has so much about put people underneath him to make sure him get the work done and want it done. Yeah. No, we don't. We don't have competent people. No, we don't have. And I'm going to tell you that straight. We don't have enough competent people in Jamaica. The competent people who are in Jamaica, they don't want to be involved in politics. That's the bottom line. Right? And you and I know that. A lot of the politicians who are in politics right now are loggerheads. They chat a lot of crap and do a lot of shit. So let's keep that real. All right? Yeah. And you have to understand. Yeah, I agree with Errol that Darrell Falls has been doing a tremendous work. But once again, he's overworked. And tomorrow morning he could have dropped down on the work. He might do too much. Where is his state ministers? Where is not a team member who can speak? He can't do everything. And that's what the problem is. You have one or two politicians who can do a lot. Yeah, you tell me, you name a couple of individuals who can do some real work. Right. You name a few in the chat group right now. Give me a couple of names. Because you have rubbish me a chat. You give a couple of individuals because you're talking. Put them name inside there. You know. Because once again, the competence of leadership at the highest level in the political arena is very limited. And I'm sorry to say, that's just a fact. We see it over and over. There are some dinosaurs in the politics, still in the politics. Over years who have gone through corruption, scandals after scandal and still in the politics. So come on. Are you saying the one who go to our company? No. Come on. So, but the bottom line is that at this time, we got 3 minutes to go. Wow, time has run so fast, Errol and Dexter. That Jamaica needs all hands on deck. We need people who watch your kitty. Because there are a lot of money flowing in, a lot of things going. Every cent has to be accounted for. There must be some level of reporting done for supplies in terms of what comes in, how much cases are this coming, how much cases were distributed, how much people get this, how much this coming, where it was distributed. Those are numbers that the government has to, data has to be kept. Because once again, you and I, Errol and Dex, I know if any man get any free thing, it like out a road. Because once again, the people them who's in control have to make sure that everything that comes in, they check who get, who receive, where it went, what time, day and time. Because I've seen when the zinc scandal in the 80s, where after Jamaica some more thousand zinc were given away and it become a big scandal free. Yeah. Private sector on the board, but you know, everyone in the private sector, they are selfish leadership in the private sector. The private sector has made billions of dollars of Jamaican society. But you ask how much of them companies there who really give back, even give $1 back. You know this, how much of them will give back? Because when first thing I say, Errol, the government collect enough taxes off of them head already, so many even give them money. They must say, Errol, they must say the government collect enough taxes off of them head, so many even give back nothing. And that's all thinking of our business. That's why Jamaica has lacked and not pushed the growth level, because the private sector's business companies have been very selfish, commotion in terms of keeping the wealth for themselves. That you will give back something to society. Maybe if there was some incentive by the government, say, give about 2 million every year, we give a tax write-off of 3-4 million or something. Or we'll always get some concession for bringing equipment at a free of cost. Something I'll give. And maybe we have to look at that. You know, and I understand what you're saying, delegation in terms of that, but sometimes you delegate and the work still not done because people work at, in terms of the into the knowledge and the experience in terms of executing on a timely manner. You understand me? Yeah, that's fine. Captain, that's fine, but give back something. You and I know in America right here, right? You know, money, the investors them put their money, lobby behind politics and get certain things for themselves. That's why they are the Republicans who always look out for the wealth of the companies to get rich. Yeah, and that's just that's just a reality in capitalism state. You know, while in a community where the wealth is distributed equally and all that. So, you know, there are other things, Errol, that, you know, we understand every community make more profit. It's fine. But give back something. That's how I say, give back something. Not to be, you don't need to be asked. In a time of now where Jamaica hurricane, a lot of the big companies say, yo, government, and give $1 million back out of my pocket. 1 million. And if your company top company in Jamaica can give $1 million, trust me, believe it or not, it makes a difference. It helps a lot of people who are really suffering down in those side of the world. But as I said, the private sector have their own selfish mode. I know some will be giving back for sure, who can afford it. I'm not saying they must give back with them now, but give back something. Every dollar makes a difference. And the government should give some incentive for giving back towards this recovery too. Because we know that down the road they are going to make back the money in quick succession when the economy is up and running. In closing, I must say that the bond thing, the money that they draw will make a big difference in terms of helping the recovery. A lot of people will get some benefit in terms of housing and repair done and all that. I see where the government is saying that they would do it, but I know that there might be some one-time grant given to people who have lost jobs or who need help to start back their business. I know that there will be some grants given based on the money and also, but there has to be some level of verification too. You can't give people money, so. And that's a problem. And you know, and I know Errol and Dexter that some people Jamaican love those freeness, handouts. You know, they must suffer. But what have you paid? Did you pay your taxes? Where was their job before? What were you doing before? And this is where my thing is this. If you really want something from the government, you got to pay some taxes. Whether you're self-employed unemployed, give back something to the government. I prove that you have been making money. I prove that you are working. Can't hand up because once we give the hand out 5,000, 100,000, boom, that done. What's next year? Gone back a street, gone beg again, gone back a street, gone hustle, gone back a street, gone sell things with illegal. This is where the government and people would have to say, this is how we want the government or the country to be productive. Every single body productive. Self-employed, business employed, public sector employee, you got to make sure everybody's putting in something and making sure they're paying back their fair taxes and making contribution to the system. Yeah, 6 billion, yeah, reserve. Yeah, that's true. He's saying that it's 1 trillion Jamaican dollars reservedly, but I question those numbers quite frankly. I don't think we need so much, to be honest, because the aid, the supplies and aids and all that should be a part of his calculation. And I think that has started already. If you are thinking that we will supplies are coming from all over the country, will help, so I figure say that alone should be a part of the calculations. We need to get those real numbers, how much US dollars of aid in terms of supplies are coming in. That should be a part of it from EU, from the US, from the US government, from friends and family, from overseas and all. We need to get those numbers because that's going to be a part of that 6 billion he's talking about. Yeah, it has to be a part of 6 billion. And that's where people believe 6 billion. Yes, 1 trillion Jamaican. Yeah, that's fine. But right now, that dent is being taken care of by the supplies from local communities in Jamaica, local individuals, companies, and from overseas. Maybe they got to make sure they extend the concession where they give this, they don't know customs charge on certain items which will be needed, like in terms of equipment, supplies, clothes, and whatever, blah. Yeah, they made a list of those. Customs said it's for 30 days free. I think they should extend to the rest of the year. Because this recovery will take some real time, some real money, some real contribution from everything from the diaspora and people all over the world to make sure our people in those areas who in St. Elizabeth, Trelawny, St. James, Manchester, Clarendon, wherever, Westmoreland, who have been wiped out, to at least see some form of light at the end of Christmas or for a new year coming up. So that's my take for tonight. I must say that, please, my faithful family and friends, make sure you are contributing back toward the recovery of Jamaica, the land we love, the land of our birth. Yeah, our smile island, which is now called a developing country. Yeah, man. So we love that. But right now, it's a moment of where all hands on deck. We try to give back as much to what a small mean. Big money. It can be $1 US, $5 US, whatever. Go to find the website, the legitimate website. Because remember, there are scammers and people who in this time who use people vulnerability to try to take people money by false pretense about making contribution to the supplies and to the hurricane. There are people who really do that. Who really does that. And I'm being honest with you. I mean, I've experienced here in the US already, where one of our colleagues was shot and killed. And, we raised money. We raised money to help bury him. But there were people who went to bar and said they might use the name, and I said they might collect money on behalf to make contribution, which was not a fact. They were all using his name to collect money for them goddamn self. Yeah. And me personally went through that emotional experience already in Jamaica. Yeah. My dad passed, and I was going through emotional trauma. Somebody come in the yard and said, I know your father for so long. You want help? You may help me buy some rum and beer. I'm saying, how much is rum and beer? And say, $8,000. I'm going to take out $8,000. With my naive self, can say, no, my father, I'm going to police station and railway. with my naivety to go 8 grand. And it's just a man was giving me and write down a list and said, so when I get and come back. Jaja, when we give the man the 8 grand in Errol and Dexter, the man, and me feel like I turn you, but me just never pick it up, come in my emotional state of grief. The man take the money and walk through my gate. And when he walk through my gate, like someone clicked him and said, what's something right? And by the time he turn around for call him back, the man take the money and zip gone. So me I tell you, in the moment of grief, sadness, and moment of this, people will find ways to exploit to make money. Because the heart of a man. So please, if you're giving, make sure you check, make sure you fact check, make sure it's somewhere legitimate. If you're not sure, make some calls. Call some of your friends who might be in the process of giving, because there are people out there who are going to exploit this situation. And so be careful, my people. Please say a prayer. Keep Jamaica in your prayer, the people that are suffering, in your prayers and thoughts for the rest of the year and onward. Because this recovery is with no ordinary recovery. Believe it or not. So once again, I want to thank you all for joining me for another night of my perspective, and see you all next week again. I will try to see if I can get me someone to come on and talk about the economic impact and see how best they should approach it. And then please watch the news, Era, watch the news, Dexter. See where the government is going, see where opposition is, how they are partaking. But I get twisted, but the opposition era will have party, but the government have to lead from the front, and that's justified, What? Eric, Dexter got a 3 check. No, Dexter, a 3 check. You need emotional grief for the man come to you. We get caught. We get caught now, Eric and Dexter, man. We get caught now, but what it is, we live and we learn. And so that before we get next man go on experience, when my cousin our husband died and man come to our husband house, he come to our husband house, do the same thing, and she catch up on and run him, man. Yeah, might be dangerous already, man. We get caught in a 3 trick, man. But a life, when you go through emotional grieving at times, the mind is dead, you just try doing things with the heart and mourn and grieve. But what it is, but it's life, boy. So anyway, my peeps, please remember, give. Spread the word of giving back to Jamaica. Every wife Shiva farm. Because right now, people in Jamaica, especially the people of the rest of the island, will need that support to rebuild. So once again, thank you all for joining me for another episode of My Perspective. All right, before we forget, Mr. Trump, hey, last night, he got a warning shot that, listen, it's the midterm, it will be the Democrats. Yeah, the Democrats will be taking over some of the seats. We will continue by the House and the Senate next year. I mean, no, because right now the shutdown is causing economic harm. It's slowly building. Right now, the airports are going to reduce the air travel control by 10%, and going to reduce flights by 10% starting tomorrow or this weekend. Right? The food stamp SNAP program is not funded. They're using emergency funds right now. Healthcare cost is expected to rise. It started rising now. Cost of living is increasing. The inflation has moved. I think it's up to 6%. So there are signs that the U.S. economy is not doing so well. The tariffs is bringing additional increases. So there are things that Donald Trump is facing right now, and his stubbornness to not negotiate with the Democrats and hoping by the government is going to only get worse. And his plan of reducing the federal government size of employment is only going to get worse. Because once again, now the signals are clear. If this continues tomorrow, 3 weeks on the road, I'm guaranteeing that this economy will be contracted. And if it start to contract, I'm guaranteed it will go in some form of recession. So my thing is this, I'm not going to ask the Democrat to bow. Let it flow. I say let it flow. I must congratulations to the first Muslim New York City. What do you call it? He's Eric Adam. What is it? I'm trying to remember my bad. Right now, he's the new mayor for New York City. Muslim, and he's talking tough. Instead of Trump last time, I don't know if you guys see it. He gives him for is to bring it on. boy, yeah, man, this new mayor attack tough already. Young boy, 37-year-old. I like your spirit, and that's what he needs. That's what kind of leadership we need sometimes. We need a tough talking, retroactive, who will not go back down from Trump. But Trump now touch New York City now. I want him in the stock market and want to make some money from it. Him and his family and friends. So if you come to New York City, you really want to crash the stock market that crash. I'm in a spiral mode. So I don't even want to touch New York City. If you touch it, trust me, this new mayor are going to really stand up against him, and a lot of things will happen. A lot of things. So anyway, thank you all for joining me for another night, another week on My Perspective. I'll see you next week. New time is 8:30 Jamaica time and US time, because we're not on the same standard time now. Last thing, I think they're planning to move it away so everybody at the same time. US is looking to go on the standard time, but it's time to master. And it's been talking about it for years now. Scientists have come and say it's more beneficial to go on the standard time than daylight saving time. But hey, they never work it out to them, because you say different now. Them time to do everything until they finally agree upon something. So, but that's what it is. So anyway, we're gone. Have a wonderful night. See you all next week, Wednesday, for another episode of My Perspective. I'm Sean Falcone, your host, and have a wonderful and blessed week. Please be safe. Please give your support to a World Cause to help our people in Jamaica to recover from this Melissa girl. Miss Melissa again. I'm crazy. Forgive me. But this hurricane catastrophe that has caused a lot of lives, damages to properties, and dislocation to people, because of welfare, well-being, and all that. So please, let us give support. You see, my plea is because I'm hurting inside. That's just a fact. I'm hurting to see my people suffering. Yeah, I'm hurting. So anyway, before I start crying, good night. See you all next week, Wednesday, for another episode of My Perspective. I'm Sean Falconer. Love you all. Peace out. Good night. One love.